Blessings and welcome back, family. I woke up this morning fully inspired and I had a story come to remembrance that I'm sure some of you are absolutely aware of, but I think it deserves revisiting. And it is the parable of the drowning man. And if you guys are not familiar with this, I am going to read it really quick and then we'll dig in. So, the parable of the drowning man. A fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood. He was praying to God for help. Soon a man in a rowboat came by, and the fellow shouted to the man on the roof, "Jump in, I can save you." The stranded fellow shouted back, "No, it's okay. I'm praying to God, and He is going to save me." So the rowboat went on. Then a motorboat came by. The fellow in the motorboat shouted, "Jump in, I can save you." To this, the stranded man said, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and He is going to save me. I have faith." So the motorboat went on. Then a helicopter came by, and the pilot shouted down, "Grab this rope and I will lift you to safety." To this, the stranded man replied again, "No thanks. I'm praying to God and He is going to save me. I have faith." So the helicopter reluctantly flew away. Soon the water rose above the rooftop and the man drowned. He went to heaven. He finally got his chance to discuss this whole situation with God, at which point he exclaimed, "I had faith in you, but you didn't save me. You let me drown. I don't understand why." To this, God replied, "I sent you a rowboat, a motorboat, and a helicopter. What more did you expect?" There are so many things to unpack in this parable, right? So the man is deeply faithful. He believes that Father is going to come and save him. And what he was looking for was a big display, a big miracle, not realizing that Father had sent three different forms of being saved and out of the drowning situation uh, so that he may live, right? And so he dismissed the resources that were given in front of him that were sent by Father. And this is just another example of us not paying attention to the signs and everything that Father has placed in our lives, whether we're requesting help, a prayer. Um, what I mean to say about all of this is when we're asking for help or praying from Father, sometimes it's always in the most unexpected way, right? Those rescue attempts were the divine help that he prayed for, which emphasizes that help often arrives through ordinary means, but they are moved by Father. I know that this has happened in my daily life. I can look in the past, from when I was a believer and a non-believer that I was still praying and asking for help. I didn't know who I was talking to. Um, but the help always came in a form of, mundane means, for lack of a better word, not realizing that there was Father behind it moving and orchestrating things. Um, I have a saying that our plan B is always Father's plan A. And so I'm just going to break down the key aspects of this parable. So we have the scenario where the flood forces a man onto his rooftop and he prays for rescue. Um, then there's the denials. He rejects the three opportunities for rescue. It's a rowboat, a motorboat, and a helicopter, believing a miracle will come directly from God, not realizing that those were the miracles that were coming from God. Father used the resources that were available next to the man to help save him, and this is not to take away, our prayer and Jesus being our savior. This is separate from that. Because we know he is the only way that we can be saved, right? But this is the reason why it's a parable. It's enlightening and fun to dig into, and I know for me, it reflects on my daily life. And a lot of people around us were expecting huge, big miracles from Father, not realizing that the little things around us are from Him, and He is the one moving everything, even if we're not noticing it at the time. So, in the parable, obviously, the man drowns and he reaches heaven, and he's asking, why God did not save him. And we know that that is not true, because Father saves us all, and everything and every bit of life that we have and everything that we do, right? And Father replies to the man, telling him, hey, I sent help and you rejected the help. This is what it means to be humble and vulnerable, is to actually accept the help that is being sent and presented to us. A lot of times people just need a hand or an ear or sound advice. Um, just things that we could do to be more loving towards one another. Um, extending our hand and bringing people up to our level instead of stepping on them when they're down. They're having a bad day, a bad life, a bad week. Where are we? What are we doing to help others? Are you listening? Are you praying? And those that are needing the help, are you seeing the gifts that are being given in front of you? Do you understand that Father is sending things that in ways that we may not even fully understand, small mundane things? Um even even animals. And this is, wow, I didn't think I was going to be sharing this today, but there was something that happened to me back in December, and I was under um demonic attack, that of which I have not experienced since I was really young. And it put me in a very negative headspace, and things were going on. And I thought about doing things that one cannot come back from. And I felt very empty and alone. Anyway, I am of sound mind. I am fine. Again, it was a demonic attack, but during that attack, out of all things, my cat, she comes in there where I'm at and starts meowing and comforting me, and I didn't even expect it, and it snapped me out of the situation and the mind frame that I was in, to be able to fight it. And I know Father sent her at the right moment, at the right time. It wasn't a big miracle or a display of, being saved. But in that moment, I recognized and saw that He sent her. And these are the types of things that I'm referring to. We never know when Father is going to send something so small that we may think it's insignificant, but it's really big, right? So we shouldn't take anything for granted. The lesson of this story highlights the faith that we should not ignore the practical opportunities or assistance provided in life. It teaches that God often works through people, and sometimes we are meant to be in the boat or the helper for someone else. This parable is used to illustrate that the divine intervention may not look like a supernatural event, but rather practical assistance and human effort. And this is what it means to be part of the body, right? We all work together for a greater purpose and for the kingdom. And this is what we should all be focusing on. We need to remember help comes in all shapes and sizes and forms, but it's all directed by Father. He is behind it all. Um, Man, I really didn't expect to share that story earlier, but I was just really moved to, and I promise you guys that I am okay. So this is not not one of those sessions. It's a learning for all of us, right? I just really wanted to share this parable and bring a deeper understanding into what help may look like and where it may come from, as a human standards versus what Father brings and how he brings it. Each and every single one of us has been called to serve in some way, shape, or form, whether it's people, animals, or something else entirely. We're all called to be good stewards of the things that we've been given in this life. And, you know, I did a word study this morning and kind of remotely related to this parable study of the drowning man. Um, and pretty much everything that I've gone over today. And I'm really big on the word studies. I learn something every single time. Father just shows me beautiful things, and today's was no different. And I'm sorry if there was like a big jump um in the filming of this, because again, technical difficulties. I wanted to go read the post that I did, or at least a portion of it, of the word study, and my camera just completely quit. I rebuke the enemy in Jesus' mighty name. Um. Anyway, with that being said, I'm just going to read this little portion because it made me really understand what it means when Jesus says that he is the vine. And so we have our pictograph study today. The Odiote, for me, brings it brings me such a deeper understanding into the word. And with this, the parent root of the word Adam, which is mankind, and that's the word I was given to study today, is spelled with the dalet and the mem. And so the dalet represents the moving back and forth. And in this case, the mem is liquid. So this is representing the flowing of blood moving back and forth, or the water, which is what mankind is comprised of, right? There's no such thing as a coincidence. The grape plant takes water from the ground and moves it to the fruit, where the water becomes the blood of the grape. This is the revelation that came to me, is that now I fully understand what it means when Jesus says that he is the vine. His seed is planted in us. We come from the earth and grow just like any plant. The living waters come from the ground, which is our foundation, and it moves into the fruit, where the waters give us our life's blood. We are the fruit, the grapes hanging from his vine. Just like the grape plant moves the water into the fruit, Jesus moves his waters into us and covers us with his blood. In this case, I do not mind being the low hanging fruit. Jesus is above all. And it's so funny because as I'm doing this video, I got a comment on there, and I want to go ahead and read it. It's from my dear sister, Elizabeth, Rejoice Ours Works. Hey, sis. And she says, the branch that bears the most fruit bows the lowest. Not something I took into consideration, but it just adds to it. And man, if you guys don't ever go through and like read some of the comments on these word studies that are done, I highly recommend that you do, because so many people in the community just leave their nuggets and what they were led to. And I just find it absolutely beautiful how Father works through every single one of us. Um, this is what it means to be the body. And so moving on, this parable also reminds me of the story of Peter denying Jesus 3 times. And in scripture, so we have the first denial of Peter denied knowing Jesus when he was first questioned, and then denies him a second time, and then a third time, and the rooster crowed, right? Just as Jesus had foretold. Um, but with that being said, there also is the significance that um, Peter was able to be forgiven and restored back to being saved. So Jesus has asked Peter in the same amount of times that Peter denied Jesus, that he questioned if he loved him 3 different times. So, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Peter replied, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And so he asked again, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter again said, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And Jesus asked again, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt by the repetition and said, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. The threefold question offered Peter a chance to undo the 3 denials, replacing failure with affirmation and restoring their relationship. Following each affirmation, Jesus commanded, feed my sheep, a crucial charge to care for his followers, establishing Peter as a leader. I think this is a powerful act of restoration, directly countering Peter's earlier denials of Jesus before the crucifixion, offering forgiveness and commissioning Peter to feed my sheep, which signifies the leadership role that Peter had. And each question prompted Peter to affirm his love, leading to a restored relationship and a renewed call to serve. With that being said, we are all called to serve our Father in heaven and follow in Jesus's footsteps. So let's make sure that we're serving the right master. We know what happens if we try to serve both, it just doesn't work. We need to be working for the kingdom and following in Jesus's footsteps. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through him. Thank you all, and have a blessed day.